In this video, we're going to go over the top 10 bulk preps to get at Smart Food Service Warehouse. Smart Food Service Warehouse is a chain of warehouse grocery stores located in California, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington. They're generally geared towards supplying food service operators like restaurants, but they also serve individuals similar to going to Costco. But no membership is required. It used to be called cash and carry. I think a restaurant supply store is a great option for purchasing bulk, non-perishable food items for your long-term food storage projects, like using the Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and storing them in 5-gallon buckets. They don't always have the absolute lowest prices around, but they definitely offer a wide variety of bulk items. So let's grab your pallet cart and go over my top 10 bulk, non-perishable preps to purchase at a Smart Food Service Warehouse. Let's get started. At number 1, we have flour. Now, flour isn't always the best long-term food storage prep to store because it doesn't have the longest shelf life. White flour can last up to 1 year when stored in the pantry unopened. When you open it up, the pantry life decreases to around 8 months. However, Smart Food Service Warehouse has a lot of variety of flour, whether that be all-purpose, potato, buckwheat, tapioca, rice flour, pizza dough, gluten-free. They offer a wide variety of bulk flour. When you go to Costco, you could usually get one type of flour, which is usually all-purpose. But you should definitely have enough flour stored in your food pantry. Unfortunately, Smart Food Service Warehouse doesn't store wheat. I normally get that at LDS warehouses, which we'll probably be talking about in a future video. Wheat, when stored properly, could store for around 30 years and you could grind it up to make flour. But again, as far as bulk flour goes, Smart Food Service Warehouse offers a wide variety. At number 2, we have rice. If I could only pick one long-term food storage prep to purchase, I would probably choose rice. Because it's filling, it could be used in a variety of different meals, and it has an extremely long shelf life. The shelf life of rice, when stored in Mylar bags with the oxygen removed, is around 25 to 30 years. Smart Food Service Warehouse has a lot of variety of different rice, whether that be basmati, jasmine, California, sticky rice. You could basically get any type of rice over at Smart Food Service Warehouse in bulk. So at number 2, we have rice. At number 3, we have beans or legumes. Again, at Smart Food Service Warehouse, you could get a wide variety of bulk beans, whether that be pinto beans, black beans, red beans, chickpeas, white beans, split peas. You could get all of these in large quantities at Smart Food Service Warehouse. In general, legumes could store for 25 plus years when stored in Mylar bags with the oxygen removed. At Costco, oftentimes you could only get one option of bulk beans, and that's usually pinto beans. But if you started this project now, you could be eating your black beans that you stored today in the year 2045. So again, at number 3, beans. At number 4, we have lentils. Now, technically, lentils is also a legume, but I felt that it deserved its own category in this list. Lentils were heavily used during the Great Depression due to its protein and the scarcity of meat during those times. At Smart Food Service Warehouse, you have multiple bulk options available. Again, lentils have around a 25 plus year shelf life when they're stored in Mylar bags with the oxygen removed. There's a lot of good meal options that you could use with lentils, especially when you start making Indian dishes. But again, at number 4, deserving its own category, are lentils. At number 10, we have sugar. Smart Food Service Warehouse has multiple types of sugar available in bulk. So in 25 or 50 pound bags, you could get granulated, powdered sugar, brown sugar, baker's special. They're basically going to have all of the different varieties of sugar. Granulated sugar has an indefinite shelf life when stored properly. Sugar has many different uses, such as baking, making jams, using them for drinks, and more. The well-known Cuban prepper, Tony Montana, preferred having the powdered sugar variety in his long-term food storage, called yayo. But again, the number 5 bulk item to get at Smart Food Service Warehouse is sugar. The number 6 bulk prep to get at Smart Food Service Warehouse is salt. Salt basically has an indefinite shelf life when stored properly. So as long as you don't get it contaminated with dirt or anything like that, it will never go bad. Over time, iodized salt may turn yellow, but this is harmless and it could still be used. Salt will absorb moisture from the air over time, so make sure to seal it in the Mylar bags with the oxygen removed. But you should definitely have plenty of salt in your long-term food storage. It's basically used with all of the dishes that you're going to prepare, unless you like really bland food. So again, at number 6, we have salt. The number 7 item to purchase in bulk at Smart Food Service Warehouse is oatmeal. This is where I pick up my bulk oatmeal because they offer a wide variety at Smart Food Service Warehouse. You could get quick oats, you could get regular rolled oats, you could get steel cut oats, and you could get them in large bulk quantities. When stored properly, oatmeal could last 20 plus years. This is another one of those long-term food storage preps that was heavily used during the Great Depression. You could basically use it for every breakfast meal by adding a little bit of brown sugar to it, and it could also be used for cookies. I prefer storing the bulk rolled oats. But again, at number 7, oatmeal. At number 8, we have candy bars. Now, this isn't the most healthy option to store for your long-term preps, but I think it's a good item to have a little bit of for morale purposes. Smart FoodService Warehouse is the place that a lot of local stores will frequently purchase their boxes of candy bars for sale, such as at vending machines. I think that the prices are pretty good for boxes, and you can basically find all of the major types of candy bars. So every time that I go to Smart FoodService Warehouse, I pick up a box of candy bars. Again, this could be used for morale purposes, especially with the kids when times are tough. At number 9, we have coffee. Smart FoodService Warehouse and other restaurant supply stores is where a lot of the local espresso stands will go to purchase their coffee supplies, whether that be the coffee beans, creamers, flavors, cups, you name it. Coffee beans don't have the longest shelf life in the world, but it's definitely a comfort item, and it was even used during the Great Depression. People still drank their coffee. For your long-term storage, a lot of people store them in the freezer to get a few extra years out of it. They say that whole coffee beans last around 2 to 3 years when stored in the freezer. Ground coffee lasts around 1 to 2 years when stored in the freezer, and instant coffee lasts indefinitely, but who wants to drink that? When stored in the pantry, they all last less than a year. Not everyone likes storing their coffee beans in the freezer due to the moisture, but it is a common strategy. Regardless, I think it's good to have a well-stocked supply of coffee. So again, the number 9 item to buy in bulk at Smart FoodService Warehouse is coffee. And the number 10 item that I have to purchase at Smart FoodService Warehouse is popcorn. Popcorn is a great snack to have for your long-term food storage. All you really need to have is a little oil and salt, and you have a tasty snack. Popcorn was commonly used during the Great Depression as a snack. Happy Preppers wrote a great article on popcorn, link in the description box below, that goes over all the reasons why you should store it for your long-term food preps. It basically has an indefinite shelf life when stored properly, but new kernels will definitely pop nicer and will taste better than the really old ones. But you could also ground popcorn into flour, which is really handy. At Smart FoodService Warehouse, it comes in bulk quantities for a decent price. So again, the number 10 item that I have to purchase at Smart FoodService Warehouse in bulk is popcorn. So those are my top 10 items to purchase at Smart FoodService Warehouse, but there are some honorable mentions. First honorable mention is soy sauce. I would have included it in the list because you could definitely get it at bulk, but I think that it's better to purchase at Asian grocery stores such as Oatmeal in Seattle, which has more options and at a better price. A few other honorable mentions are bulk baking supplies such as baking soda and baking powder. They also have a wide variety of different pastry boxes like for banana bread and brownies and cookies, but I don't think those have the best shelf life. Smart FoodService Warehouse is also a great location to pick up various spices that you could pick up in bulk, which will end up saving you money in the long run compared to picking them up at your local grocery store. One of the non-food options that you could get is industrial cleaning supplies, which I think you could get for a pretty good deal over at Smart FoodService Warehouse. You could also get meats for your freezer in bulk quantities at Smart FoodService Warehouse, and they have a large variety of them. These are the meats that the local restaurants are going to be using for their meals. But again, I try to focus on non-perishable food. And the last honorable mention are various frozen items that you could get for your freezer. So if you have a freezer in your basement or in your garage, you could go over to Smart FoodService Warehouse and get a variety of different frozen options to include in your preps. And that's going to do it for this video featuring the top 10 bulk preps to purchase at Smart FoodService Warehouse and other restaurant supply stores. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. I think this is a great place to purchase bulk items for your long-term food storage projects. So when you're using your Mylar bags with the oxygen absorbers and storing them in 5-gallon buckets, if you go to Smart FoodService Warehouse, you could basically get the majority of the items that you would normally store in that type of strategy. The only thing that's really missing there is bulk wheat, but I picked that up at LDS warehouses, which I think we should cover in a future video. I might need to do a future version of one of these top 10 preps videos, but at an Asian grocery store like at Maya in Seattle, because they also have a lot of options. But again, this one focused on a restaurant supply warehouse store like Smart FoodService Warehouse. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. Let me know how I did on my top 10 list. I imagine that you might have a slightly different top 10 list. So leave your comments below in the comment section and stay tuned for more videos. See you guys next time.